Hey everyone, this is Dalen Kossi. I'm with Ronin Fitness. Today we're going to be going over abs and stretching. This is going to be a beginner section for people who haven't really stretched before, who aren't flexible at all, and a lot of the stretches that we do often on these days might be a little too advanced. These stretches are going to be really basic beginner stretches that you can do to kind of loosen yourself up so that you can work your way to greater stretches. And I'll actually show you the buildup of those today. We're also going to be hitting a little bit of abs, but again, focusing on how do we engage our abs and our obliques when we're doing certain exercises and different ways that we can build up to them if you're not ready for the advanced versions of those exercises. But before we go into that today, I'd like to talk a little bit about community and what does it mean to be part of a community. For me, there's been several communities that I've been a part of in my life, and communities are just generally where we connect with other people and we connect with other people in search of maybe something that's a greater goal for all of us. For instance, as a kickboxer, when I go to my gym, I have two gyms that I fight out of. And in both gyms, I'm close with other fighters in there because we're part of a community. We're all trying to get better. So our goals are aligned in that way. And sometimes you could have a cultural community. I'm Native American. I don't know what you are at home, but you might have a group of people that you share a culture with, and that can be a community. For those of you who are religious, church could be a community. And there's a bunch, and you can be part of several communities, but here's the most important part. It's also okay to get away from certain communities. There have been communities I've been a part of where over time my value system changed and drifted away from certain members or that entire community altogether, and I switched and distanced myself from that and found a new community, and my goals changed, so I found new communities to support new goals, right? So look, what I'd like you to do is really analyze your communities, and if you're not part of any, I would recommend getting and connected with people in some way. Even if right now we're dealing with COVID, there's a lot of virtual communities going on as well. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to start with some basic stretches. So I'm going to show you an advanced stretch first and then show you a basic version. So the first advanced stretch that I have today is called a straddle. And what we do is we come all the way out here. Our legs come all the way as far out as we can. I keep my feet on the ground and my hands go to the middle. Now that's pretty advanced if you've never done it before. So here's going to be the basic version of that today. All you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing of spreading your feet out, but instead it's just going to be your knees. So I try to keep my feet together, my knees spread out, and then I'm just going to bring my forearms down to the ground, and we're just going to hold it here for about 15 to 20 seconds. What you should do is you can lean forward or back depending on where you feel the stretch. So if you're leaning back, it's almost putting your body weight and your butt more towards your feet. If you want to lean forward, you can lean forward just a little bit. But I'm just going to be here, and we're just going to hold this stretch. Another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. All right. From here, we'll go with a pull down stretch. So normally this is a more advanced stretch where we grab and we pull down. If let's say you can't quite get there, a good one to do instead, if you can't, is to bring this arm across and then just grab your wrist and pull it over, right? So this one hits more your lats and your shoulder, but this one also hits your shoulder as well. So you can just pull that arm across and your other arm comes underneath and just hugs it in. We'll hold for another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Same thing, go to the other side. And again, this is just increasing some of the flexibility in my shoulders. And good. And then another one, if you can't quite get your arm all the way down and put this arm on top, if you don't have that range of motion, another great one to do that's nice and easy is arm circles. You can go forward or backwards. I'm going to choose backwards for myself. I'm going to go 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now I'm going to go forward. Same thing. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. All right, so let's go with another stretch now. Let's say, one of my more advanced stretches that I love is called a pigeon stretch, where I come down here, I bring one knee up to the middle of my feet, I turn that foot sideways, and I lean down. Now, if you think that sounds advanced, it's because it is. So to do a less advanced stretch where we can still hit that same muscle group, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna bring one knee up just like this, and we're just gonna bring that knee all the way up. For me, I tend to grab two hands on my upper shin, And I'm just gonna pull that knee towards my chin. That's gonna hit a lot of my hip flexor, but it's also gonna hit my glute as well. All right, hold it for another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then go to the other side. Same thing, grab and then again, just pull it up, right up to your chest. And hold it for another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm gonna give you one that's an intermediate. So that's the easy version. We saw the pitch and stretch was the harder version. So let's go with the more intermediate version. If you want to try something a little harder, place one leg on top, almost like you're sitting in a dining room chair about ready to have your bourbon at the end of the day. This leg is gonna come up and I'm just gonna hold on this leg. All right, so that's all that's gonna happen. I'm just gonna grab my thigh and pull it. And this is also gonna hit my glute. And we're gonna hold this for another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we can switch. Same thing, leg comes up, almost like I'm sipping a glass at the end of the day. The leg that's on the ground, I grab my thigh, and I'm just gonna pull it up. And another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful, all right? Now, to stretch out your calves today, this is gonna be an easier one that we can do as well. All you're gonna do is you're gonna find something, an edge to hold on to. Take one foot, place it back, and then just put your heel on the floor and almost lean forward. This is gonna hit my calf muscle, some of my hamstrings, and a lot of the tighter muscles in this leg. So I'm leaning forward, putting my body weight this direction, and then putting this leg behind me and pushing my heel to the floor. Hold it for another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Same thing. Other side, I lean forward. That heel stays on the ground. And another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. All right, from here we got another couple stretches to do. If you want to hit your obliques with something a little bit more advanced, a lot of times I tend to lean and come all the way over. What I've noticed is certain people don't have that flexibility today. So what I would recommend that you do is almost put two hands on your side and then just lean your upper half of your body over. This requires my whole oblique to come across and come over. A lot of people end up just coming here because they just don't have a lot of strength or flexibility here. So place both hands there and then use your upper body just to lean over, but you can almost hold it, almost like you're holding a cramp. And then for 5 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And switch, let's go to the other side, same thing. Almost like I'm holding a cramp, and I'm just gonna lean. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. So again, those are some, obviously we have more advanced stretches that we normally do, but if you haven't ever stretched out before, if you're very, very tight, and a lot of stretches seem like they're very complex to you, these are some great starter ones just to kind of get you loosened out, that aren't too complex, that don't require a lot of balance or coordination, but they're great ways to start getting those muscle groups stretched out. Before we end though, we do have some abs to do today. So I want us to go into not just doing ab exercises, but how to actually engage our core. A lot of people don't know how to do that. So we're gonna start with a basic crunch today. So for most people, a crunch is keeping your shoulders off the ground, head off the ground. And for me, I like to use my fingertips and just replace them with the bottom of my hands. Or if you want, you can just crunch up and come there. What I see a lot of people do wrong, especially people with heavier fat content in their stomach, is they tend to try to pull with their neck. They come all the way down and then their neck does the work first and then they come down and they end up straining their neck. And at the end of the set, they're always like, ah, man, my neck is in a lot of pain. And I'm always like, well, why is it in pain? We should be working abs. What are you doing with your neck? So a lot of people work their neck. So the way to start to engage your core, first and foremost, is to take your head and already have it elevated off the ground. That doesn't mean I'm pulling with my neck, but my head, back of my shoulders, and upper back are already off the ground. You should be able to see it here. From here, this is already engaging my core, and then all I wanna do is I want to tighten my core before I come up and almost squeeze it. I wanna pretend that there's a big, maybe an ice cream sandwich on the top of your stomach, and you have to get your stomach and your upper stomach and your lower stomach to squeeze it together. So you are sandwiching the sandwich. All right, here we go. Let's try it. Let's go up 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Keeping that core engaged the whole time. All right, let's work on another one. So let's work on a side bend today. So a side bend is one where we come down, we touch, and we hit our oblique. What a lot of people do is they tend to shift their feet over and just tap, or they move their whole upper body and they end up turning to hit their feet. That doesn't really hit your oblique that much. What you want to do is keep your back totally on the ground. And again, if I have a pencil or any item right here, I want the side of my body to almost crunch it as I'm touching my stomach. So my upper body, my shoulders stay in a straight line. I turn, I touch this heel. I come over here, I touch this foot as well. All right, so let's try that 5 times. Each time back and forth will count as 1. So turn your body, 1, turn back, 1, turn 2, turn 2. And I keep my head looking up at the ceiling, not at my feet. That's 3 and 3, 4, 4, last one, 5, and 5. All right, next one we're gonna do is a Russian twist. Now, the advanced version of a Russian twist is to keep your feet in the air and turn your body. Now, that's advanced for a lot of people, especially people who haven't done abs before. So the way that I would recommend starting today is keeping your feet on the ground and just shifting your body back and forth. But when you do this, turn your body all the way over so your upper body is turned, but try to keep your belly button facing forward. In other words, if I turn my belly button and my legs come with me like this, I'm not really working anything in my abs because my other body's helping. I want to just focus on my abs. So I'm going to turn here, and then I'm going to turn all the way as much as I can this way. And we'll do that 10 times. So turn, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excellent. All right, last one is going to be what's called leg lifts. Now, there's a lot of leg lift exercises that we do for our core. Leg lifts tend to target our lower core. So where crunches or sit-ups tend to hit our upper stomach, leg lifts and leg holds tend to hit our lower stomach. So what a lot of people struggle with that I've seen is they take their hands, they place them underneath their butt, but they're not able to quite get their legs up. Either they don't quite have strong enough lower cores, or they don't have low enough or strong enough quadriceps or hamstrings. So rather than trying to lift all the way up and coming and stopping, what you should do for this one, if you've never done abs before, is just bring your knees up, crunch it as much as you can, and then push it back out. Crunch your knees and push it out. Now, when I do this, I don't just keep my head on the ground, because that really doesn't do very much for me. It does wonders for my legs, but not for my abs. I want to engage that core. So again, my head and shoulders come off. I should be able to look at my toes. I bring my knees in and then push them back out. Knees in, push out. In and out. All right, so let's try that. Let's go 10 times today. So again, look down at your feet, head and shoulders off. Bring your knees in and out. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then come down. Now, another good one too, if you can't quite lift your legs up, is to just take your feet and hold out and breathe. If you want a harder version, of course, you can look down at your feet to engage your core a little more. But even just holding it up requires some core activation. So you can always hold your legs 6 inches above the ground to work that lower core as well. And then from there, time it. What I would recommend is if you can only hold your leg 6 inches above the ground for 20 seconds, great. Try to do 20 seconds 3 times. The next time you come in, do 20 seconds 2 times. And on the last set, try to see if you can go to 25. One of the things that I love about exercise and martial arts and training just in general is always the ability that we have to break our limit. We're always capable of so much more than we think. You know, we put limits on ourselves and restrictions on ourselves, not that our body actually has, but that our mind has. And once you break through them and push yourself to set new physical limits, that's where growth happens. And that 5 seconds longer than last time, and that extra 3 reps more than you did last time, and the extra 5 pounds that you put on your plates before you did the exercise. It's always going a little further than last time and pushing our limits little by little that allows us to grow. All right. This will conclude our ab and stretching segment today. This is a lot for beginners and going back to our basics to make sure that we understand the necessary fundamentals we need to build our way up. Because we talked about community today, I'd like this to be a community where you invite other people, friends and family, to join our platform. So if you haven't already, please make sure you shout us out to people in your life who you think could really use us, and we can grow this community together. Until I see you next time, don't stop until your good has become better and your better has become your best. This is Dalen Costian with Ronin Fitness, signing off.